to another episode of the Shifting Your Atmosphere podcast, where choosing you is not selfish, it's necessary. I'm your host, Kay Simone, and you already know what we talk about here. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent of all that it takes to choose you in the midst of motherhood and womanhood. And as always, this is a safe space. So I want you to calm your mind, calm your spirit, and let's get ready to shift your atmosphere together. Have y'all ever heard of the baby blues? AKA the little time period after you give birth to your baby where you're a little bit sad, as people say, or you're a little bit unsure and uneasy about your emotions. They say, hey, look, it'll go away. You'll drag around like little sadness off of inside out. And in a couple of little days, a couple of weeks, it'll be over. You'll get over it. We all go through it after, if you're a mom and you give birth. Everybody goes through it. No big deal. Just, like it's a slap on the wrist or something. Y'all heard that? If you've heard of it, I know you think of one or two things. Like you're thinking exactly what I explained. You're like, yeah, I know what that is. Or you're thinking like, girl, get out of here with that. Because what they really talking about is postpartum. And if you've gone through a postpartum experience of any kind on your own, you are not trying to hear that it's just the baby blues. I just spoke to a mother the other day and she was like, everybody kept letting me know that it was just a little baby blues. That's what they just kept explaining it to me as. And after I got through a couple of weeks and it wasn't over, I'm looking at them like, hey, look, you said it was just gonna be a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and I'll get over it. I'm not over it. Okay, it's been a little more than a couple of weeks. It's been a couple of months. I'm not over it. Okay, we're approaching a year and it's getting worse. Now what? Exactly. I am not here to co-sign the baby blues nonsense, nor am I here to disregard your personal postpartum experience, whatever it may entail, by lumping it into one little category and tell you in 6 weeks you should be straight. No, ma'am. I'm not here to do that with you. What I am here to talk about today is the fact that it is a 6 week period that is strictly about the healing of your body post birth. That is the biggest misconception around postpartum. And today we're going to talk about why it's a misconception and what it actually is. So first things first, I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what anybody else has said, whether you're pregnant currently, whether you aspire to have children, whether you're currently in your postpartum journey, or you're already beyond and you're trying to undo some of the thoughts that you had about postpartum experience because you feel as if the effects of postpartum are still lingering on you. Yes, I'm here to tell you that postpartum is not a one size fits all. Every single woman's postpartum journey is different. And not only is each woman's experience different from each other, but each pregnancy experience can be different. I spoke to a mother the other day, and she was explaining to me how her first two pregnancies had no negative effects in her postpartum journey. And then she got to the third and she was confused about every single thing that she felt, every single thing that she experienced because she had no experience of it in her first two pregnancies. But her third one was extremely different. She was older, she had more health conditions, she had a lot more going on in the midst of having that child. And all those things took a toll on top of just having a child and a pregnancy in general. All those things took a toll on her and created an extremely different experience for her third pregnancy than the previous two. So even her being a mother, having a baby, having three different pregnancies, each of her pregnancies were different, and each of her postpartum journeys post the pregnancy was different for her. And with her third one, her having that, she's still finally just coming out of from under some of that postpartum experience into finding herself again. So no two women and no two pregnancies are going to have the same postpartum experience. Therefore, the misconception that it is a one size fit all, yeah, throw that out the window because it is not. And if you're telling another woman that her experience is not her experience because of your knowledge of an experience of another woman's, cut it out right now. Go back and apologize. Go repent. Whatever you got to do that. But do not go out here telling no woman that just because you have some type of information concerning another woman's postpartum experience, therefore her experience is not valid. We are not going to invalidate any woman's postpartum experience at all. I don't care what your experience was. I don't care what Ruthie Mae's experience was. I don't care what Jane Doe's experience was. That has absolutely nothing to do with what the mother in front of you's experience is and what she's expressing or explaining to you that she's going through or that she needs help with, or that even if the mother can't explain it, that does not mean either a green light to write her off or a green light to turn off your ears and stop listening to her. Absolutely not. Okay? Okay, now let me get off my soapbox about that, but I mean that. I mean that with all my heart. Because the last thing you want to do to a mother that's going through her individualized, unique postpartum experience is to not listen to her. Why on earth would you not listen to the woman who's going through the experience? If she's telling you it's not statistically like another person's, y'all know when they do statistics, they're like, oh, this, it says that out of 100 women, this, so you tested 100 women. Did you get them all from the same neighborhood? Did you get them from all the same race? Did you get them all from the same hospital? Did you get them all from, where did you get the 100 women? And what about the rest of the billions of women that's not them 100? Exactly. If you ain't test out enough people, you ain't test out everybody. One thing's for certain and two things for sure. What y'all should have got out of that research was every woman's postpartum experience is different, and listening to her is going to be the key to helping and assisting her through that journey and supporting her through that journey, however long it may last. And even if their said postpartum period of up to 1 year has ended, in the means of technical terms, not everybody's experience is done. Now she has the effects of whatever that 1 year period looked like. And even prior to that, in her pregnancy, and prior to that, whatever her life looked like before the pregnancy, and the 1 year postpartum experience, now she has the effects of all of those things leaning on her shoulders, while she's also trying to take care of a child, while she's also trying to be present in her career, while she's also trying to be present in whatever her life may encompass now. And you're trying to tell her that's going to look like another woman's? We calm down. I'm passionate about this, okay? If you have not noticed, if you have not realized as to why this entirety of this podcast, this brand, and this nonprofit exists, because not enough women are heard, are listened to, and prioritized during this period. Now, the second issue with the misconception of postpartum, being pregnant, giving birth, and now this postpartum experience, you have literally gone through more than just your physical body having an experience and a change. Your mind and your heart has gone through changes as well. So the fact that postpartum is labeled as just the physical healing period for your body is extremely problematic. For everything that your body physically goes through, your mind has to mentally deal with all of those changes, right? You are changing, whether it's your first pregnancy, your second pregnancy, your body is going through changes, but your mind is literally going through changes, trying to deal with the fact that your body is going through changes. You're trying to uphold all of the things that you cannot explain, all things you cannot understand about the changes in your body, about the changes in your mental. Your hormones are all over the place. You don't know if you're crying for a real reason. You don't know if you're crying for a made up reason. You don't know anything that is going on. So all of that can go on with you, and they can literally have terms to explain so many things that are going on with you, but then just tell you, hey, look, your post birth journey is literally just about your body healing. No, what about all those things that my mind had to hang on to and I had to mentally struggle with to literally just get to the birth? Okay. I remember back when I was pregnant and my mind is almost like freaking out everywhere because I'm constantly worried about if my baby is okay. I'm constantly worried about if my body is going to literally have the capacity to hold this child all the way to birthing it. Am I going to make it? And literally, when you also go and give birth to a child, you're literally risking your life. You have to be faced with the question, if it comes down to you or your baby, whose life would you want them to save if it came down to it? And you don't think my mind has to do no type of recovery? You don't think my mental was affected at all by being pregnant or the birthing process? And you think only thing that needs to get back healed and get back in order is my body? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I'm not buying it. And any other woman that has been through a postpartum journey or experience of her own, she not buying it either. It is literally minimizing the entirety of the mental and emotional compartments of the postpartum experience. It is not just about your body, and not everybody's body recovers in 6 weeks. What if you had a C-section? What if you had previous health conditions? What if you accumulated health conditions in the midst of that? Like literally in my second pregnancy, I was in a car accident. So after my 6 weeks, I was still dealing with issues beyond just the fact that I had had a vaginal birth. I was literally still dealing with the remnants of being in a car accident, about the fact that I couldn't get proper um physical therapy post that car accident because I was still pregnant, and then doing so much physical labor post that car accident to the point that I was supposed to be on bed rest, but I still had to do so much physical labor to still take care of my household. I still had to grocery shop. I still had to do laundry. I still had to do so many other things that my water ended up breaking in the midst of me trying to get some groceries at the car. So the fact that they're trying to lead women to believe that postpartum is just a 6 week period that your physical body is healing, absolutely not. That is a issue. It is essentially trying to tell women that it's only about your uterus literally shrinking back down and going to the right size, and all of your internal organs and your internal body functions going back to realize that you're no longer carrying a child. Like, your postpartum experience is so much more than that. And if someone minimizes it to that, get away from them and talk to somebody else. If it's a doctor, if it's a friend, if it's support, if they are not able to be properly informed and they are telling you that, get away from it, okay? Find you some support, find you some people who understand and who are, and even if they don't understand, they will validate whatever your postpartum experience is, because that will honestly help you get through it so much more, so much better than someone telling you that it's literally only about your body. Because it's not, okay? Okay, the third issue is that struggling in postpartum does not mean you're failing. I know it can feel like you're failing, but it does not mean you're failing. What it actually means is that you're human. You're just human. You are a human. You are a woman that has given birth. You are a woman who's been affected by that birthing and pregnancy experience. We all are. We all have. If you haven't had children yet and you plan to, you will too. And that doesn't make you weak. That does not make you a failure. That doesn't make you any of that. If you ever thought that, if anyone has ever told you that or led you to believe that, I'm here to correct it right now. You are human. You are not a failure. You are not weak. You are actually very strong. Okay? And if you're currently struggling with that, or even struggling with the lingering effects of the fact that you felt that during uh, your original postpartum period, I'm here to just remind you that God says in our weakness, He is strong. Paul wrote that he learned to boast in his weaknesses because therefore God could be so much stronger in him. So, where we can be led to believe in our postpartum experience that we feel like we're failing because we're struggling and having a hard time, all that is an opportunity for us to lean on God. It's an opportunity for us to seek out to lean on others. It's an opportunity to remind us that God is with us and He can help us. If He helped us endure all the changes that are required to carry a baby, birth a baby, He is very much going to help us endure all that it takes to recover mind, body, and soul from having that baby. Therefore, there is no need to feel like you're failing. There is no need to feel less of yourself. There is no need for you to feel as if because your postpartum experience doesn't look like another woman's, or it's not, you know, breezing by as easy as another woman's, that it is way more difficult, that it has a lot more circumstances, has a lot more struggles, curves, twists, turns. There is no need to feel like you're failing. A lot of women can feel like failures in their postpartum experience because we're not voicing the true rawness of what postpartum can look like for a lot of women. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of women still struggle with the mental load and all that that encompasses and all the effects that pregnancy and postpartum have on them, whether they speak on them or not. But I remember during my postpartum experience, a lot of the reason why I wasn't willing to speak out on what I was actually experiencing was because of the backlash I felt like I would get behind it, right? So if I wasn't just happy and jolly about having my baby, I was going to be judged, right? If I wasn't handling it so well, I was angry about everything instead of being grateful, I was going to be judged, right? If I if I was becoming extremely overwhelmed because I was throwing myself completely into motherhood due to the fact that I had a previous miscarriage, which made me feel and believe as if that I had failed at doing the one thing that women were created on this earth to do, which was bear a child, and I wasn't able to successfully do that. Now I'm overly pouring into doing that so much to the point that I'm losing myself, and to the point that I'm starting to regret or resent that situation. If I never had planned on having children, now I have children, and I'm constantly battling with that thought process in my mind after it feels like the child and having children is taking over my entire life. I don't have no time for myself. If that's all a part of my experience and all a part of my journey, and I tell somebody that and they're going to judge me and call me ungrateful and say I'm just being dramatic, do you think I'm gonna want to speak out about that? No. So I kept it all to myself. And that, when keeping it to yourself and silencing your voices, what essentially ends up making you feel like you're failing. Women going through their postpartum experience don't feel like failures because other mothers are telling them that they're failures. Women going through the postpartum experience feel like they're failing because the narrative that has been created and shown is not the truth real of what a postpartum experience has been. It is what the world has decided to show, the parts of postpartum that people are comfortable with explaining and expressing. Even when I was going through the roughest parts of my postpartum, it took me forever. Like, I almost wasn't willing to go in to get antidepressants because I was so afraid of what that would be perceived as. I perceived as, you can't bear everything everybody else was bearing. You can't have your children go to work, have multiple kids, still be happy, still do all these things. You can't do all these things. You can't breastfeed, go to work, have a toddler, have an infant, And then we were in COVID and all this other kind of stuff. And I was angry. I was angry about every single thing. I don't even know how I was depressed and having rage. I don't even know how I had all that going on, but I felt like I was failing not only myself, but my children. And in that, I felt so much like a failure that because of what people told me my postpartum experience should be. So because I wasn't living up to the postpartum experience that is plastered everywhere and showcased everywhere, because it wasn't in the short amount of time period that they said it should be, because I wasn't coming up out of the baby blues, because I wasn't being the strong black woman that could take care and handle on and bear everything on her back, I felt like I was failing. And feeling like you're failing internally makes you even less inclined to speak out, to go and get help, to go do the things you know you need to do for yourself to truly survive the postpartum experience and endure it. And if that's your reality, are you really gonna go feel like you can get help? No, you're not. Are you gonna go seek the help that you need? No, you're not. So what we really need to do is normalize expressing the realness of what the postpartum experience is and what we've experienced. Therefore, when another woman is going through that, whether she's already had it, she's currently going through it, or she's dealing with trying to still recover from the mental toll all of this experience had on her, we can normalize that you're not a failure because you go through postpartum changes. You're just a woman, you're just human, and God can truly, 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 truly be strength to you when you're feeling like you're at your weakest because you're struggling with all that postpartum has to bring. Okay? Okay. And before we get too far into the episode, you already know what we gotta do. We gotta go do a fit check over in the corner. Welcome back to another episode of the Style by K. Smalls Fashion Corner. You already know the drill. Fit check. The collar for today's look is actually a crop blazer that I purchased from Amazon. I took all the accessories off, layered it under here to give a collar to this oversized cardigan. We're oversized on purpose just to give comfort level. When we're transitioning to fall, we just want to be comfortable. We're just ready to be cozy. So today's episode is all the cozy, safe vibes. So the fit had to match nonetheless. Now we do show out a little bit at the bottom of the cardigan as well. A little bit of the bottom of the blazer as well. Girl, get it together. And then the star of the show for today is these thigh high boots from Akira. I got them off the TikTok shop this time. And that is today's fit. Comfy, cozy. Everyday bracelet stack, rope chain, Roman numeral bracelet, the tennis bracelets from Pavoy. This new ring is from Pavoy as well. The rest of the rings are everyday staples that we've already seen before, and my Apple Watch. And then the earrings today are just these little mini gold, like half a hoop. I think I got those from Fashion Nova. And then a 1995 necklace, and then from Amazon, and the K initial necklace. I got this one off TikTok shop this time because my last one went missing. And of course, the hair. You see that. Now this is today's fit. What do we think about today's fit? Is it giving comfy? Is it giving cozy? Is it giving that we're back on the couch for the podcast? Y'all let me know in the comments, and let's go ahead and get back to the episode. Okay, how did y'all like today's outfit? It was very important for me for today for us to be all about comfy coziness because we were talking about something that was difficult, which is postpartum. Okay, and what it is and what it's not. And what it's not is a tiny little 6 week window of your physical body just feeling. It is not that. And that is not all that it encompasses. And we're killing that misconception today. Okay, now let's go ahead and get back to the episodes. It's so many issues with the way that postpartum is presented in this world. And the top 4 issues with the biggest misconception is that it's only just 6 weeks, that it's only about your physical body healing, that if you struggle with postpartum and you're not holly jolly and happy, you're failing as a woman or a mother. And very last is that it's all about the baby. It's about your 6 week checkup for the baby. It's about all of, baby, 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 baby focus, right? It's does the baby is the baby getting jaundice? Is the baby growing at the right rates? Is the baby are you feeding the baby right? Like all the things are about the baby. And although the baby is extremely important, we love the baby, right? You as a woman, you as a mother, the postpartum experience is about you too. You're the one having to help aid said baby be okay. You got a 6 week checkup too, right? Okay, then that must mean that there's something to check up on you about too, right? So when we throw out then that's it and that's all that postpartum is, there's a problem with that because it's not just about the baby and it's not just about the physical healing of your body. It's about the mother too. You're essentially going through a full blown you birthed the baby and now you have to rebirth yourself. The woman is going through a rebirthing period as well. So postpartum is truly, truly, truly such a very in-depth situation that is not cookie cutter and not one size fit all for any woman out here. Another issue with the way that postpartum is expressed in the world is that it doesn't leave room for women who don't give birth to a live baby, right? Who don't successfully give birth. I had a miscarriage prior to my first baby. And I feel like that was the most impactful postpartum experience that I have ever experienced, right? And it's not even labeled or listed in what postpartum is, right? One, the reason that that was my hardest postpartum experience was because I feel like I failed. I felt like a complete and utter failure. In my mind, my thoughts to myself was all you have to do was keep the baby alive. Isn't that what a woman's body's built to do? Keep a baby alive, right? And so for years, I internally scrutinized myself around motherhood to the point that there was a period in time where I obsessed over saying that I was going to have a baby because I feel like I feel so bad that I need to redeem myself. Then when I actually had a baby, of course, I had my own pregnancy experience and then my postpartum experience, but it's still the lingering effects of that first miscarriage still lingered over into my first pregnancy and first first official postpartum experience because it was post the actual birth that I poured myself and threw myself so much into proving that I was fit to be a mother, proving that I didn't fail in that first miscarriage. And that's something that is not talked about hardly at all. If you're not able to fully carry a baby to term for any reason, that does not rob you of having a postpartum experience. By terms, post birth, but if I'm not able to give birth, if I'm not able to give a full term healthy birth, now all of a sudden I don't have that experience. And that's just not fair to the woman, right? Because we still go through just the same things you would go through from birth. If your child got to birth and it passed away, you would still grieve. If your body still began to make changes, no matter what point in your pregnancy you got to, your body still began to make changes, and now it will still have to go through the healing and the changing of going back to that pre-pregnancy condition of your body, like, and your mind, whatever it looks like. Now you have grief in the mix. Grief is a part of now the postpartum experience, while you may have a different postpartum experience because you have your baby physically there with you. What about all the mothers who don't have their baby there in their hand, but they're still trying to recover with their body physically? They're still trying to recover mentally. They are still trying to do all these things and they don't have the baby. So now they have that grief. Now they have that hurt. Now they have that pain. Now they may experience postpartum, they may experience a level of depression due to those things. Yes, it may not be considered postpartum expression depression because it's not post a physical birth, but you still have to go and have, the DNC to get the birth out if you have a stillborn. that's still a birth. So there are so many experiences in each woman's individual life that can affect her postpartum experience, and then the fact that that postpartum journey and experience can have a lingering effect on the rest of her life, whether she gets pregnant again, whether she doesn't. Her health conditions can affect it. There are so many factors that factor into what a postpartum experience is and what it is not, and how it varies per person, and how it varies per pregnancy, and how it varies on how long each person goes through their experience and what type of lingering effects it can have on them. And for all of those reasons, and probably some I didn't mention today, that is why the biggest misconception around postpartum is that it is a 6 week period of just physical body healing, because it is not. So, the reason behind this episode is to bring awareness to what postpartum truly is, and the fact that it is different for every single woman. It is different for every single pregnancy. There is not a one size fits all covering or even accuracy to the label that it is simply a 6 week period of physical body healing for any woman that is going through that. There are so many more levels and there's so much more complexity to that. And we are doing women a disservice by minimizing what their experience is, or putting it in a box to say that it has to look a certain kind of way, and therefore that's not actually helping any woman who's going through the postpartum experience. So if you are a woman who is currently pregnant, or currently going through her postpartum experience, or still dealing with the effects of a postpartum experience, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to embrace your experience for what it is. Don't allow someone else to tell you what your experience is, or what it should be, or what it has been, and how that has affected you. Truly, truly find the strength to speak up for yourself. Truly find the strength to reach out to someone. Truly find the strength to share your story or seek help for yourself, so that we can normalize that the generalized language behind what postpartum is not true, and that we are losing our voices, and we're losing the shared experiences behind what the postpartum experience is, because so many women are indirectly being silenced by their experiences not being validated. If you invalidate a woman's postpartum experience, what you're doing is silencing her from being able to share and normalize that each experience is different. Because if you, as a woman, share your experience with postpartum, it can help another woman who would go through something similarly understand that she's not a failure. Understand that it's just a normal part of the possibilities of that she may experience. It will help another woman understand that if her postpartum feelings and experience, whether it's labeled truly as postpartum or not, are coming behind her having a miscarriage, coming behind her having a stillbirth, that is only popping up a year later instead of in the first 6 weeks after she had her child. All of those things are variances of postpartum, but all encompass the fact that every postpartum experience is different. I truly believe we can help so many more women go through their postpartum experience and heal from all the effects, or even minimize the effects of postpartum that we have, that a lot of us women experience. And that is the main focus of awareness that the Shifting Your Atmosphere nonprofit wants to bring awareness and impact to. We don't want to wait until you have lost yourself completely. We don't want to wait until the postpartum depression, anxiety, rage, or any level or combination of postpartum effects have taken you down to the bottom of the barrel, to make you hit rock bottom. We don't want to wait till then to actually bring awareness to you. We want to go before that and start even in pregnancy and prenatal care during your pregnancy, to try to bring awareness, to warn you, to normalize, to speak on, to share experiences, so that when you run into these things and when you start to have your own personal experience, number one, have support, two, have knowledge and information, but three, also minimize the effects that it can have on you because you've prepared yourself, because you're aware, because you have that support, because you have the knowledge, and not just knowledge of postpartum that the world and textbooks gives us, but normalize the fact that your experience may be very, very different. It may take bits and pieces of other women's experience and it may build yours. It may be totally different than any experience that any other woman may have, and that is fine. That is okay. That is true to you. And we want to support you through whatever that journey looks like for you. Not only to just what it is, to endure what it is, but to also bring you back on the other side. We don't want to just see you through it and say, hey, look, it's been a year postpartum. Peace. No, that is why we are in support of empowering the women and supporting the women from pregnancy, postpartum, and beyond. And if you would like to help support that mission, you can always visit our website at www.shiftingyouratmosphere and make a donation. There are various ways that we aspire to assist and help women beyond just sharing things on this podcast and beyond just the resources that we have for them. So, of course, we're going to always help and assist every woman that is in the postpartum experience currently and beyond to help her find herself again and choose herself again. But we also want to go a step backwards and help a woman realize what that could look like in choosing herself, prioritizing herself, and understanding that her postpartum experience may not look the same as everybody else's, but the things and tools and resources she could have to minimize how hard postpartum may hit her, not feel completely just blindsided about all that postpartum could bring. If you'd like to hear more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You can always check out any of our social media pages. You can, like I said before, you can support our mission by donating to the nonprofit. And if this, in any of this information it was helpful to you, or you know someone that could be helpful to, please share it with someone else, because the goal is to bring the awareness. The goal is to be supportive to the women who are going through these experiences or possibly will go through them, and who are still recovering from going through these experiences. So that's all I got for y'all today. So until the next episode.